Hello beautiful people, hello dear River Game employees. Yes, this video is also for you because we desperately have to talk about the simple tab which has a very deep effect on the game, and of course that is the hero combo. Now first we start by mentioning River Game. This is an absolutely brilliant, a great and a fantastic idea. Sadly guys, a lot of information here inside are sometimes kind of slightly wrong, sometimes extremely wrong, and on top, you're gonna have some very misleading informations. Just in case you guys, the players out there and River Game, have not yet noticed one of the key things here in TOPWAR, of course, are the heroes. And generally speaking, when we talk about first best hero, second best hero, third best hero, these heroes will all gonna cost you the same amount of items or the same amount of money. So from this perspective, there is absolutely no logical explanation why you should take the same amount of items or money to invest in a second best, in a third best, or in some cases in this tab, into the worst idea possible. So please watch this video till the end and let me explain you and let me show you why that is the case. Now granted, I'm gonna put on the screen also my hero meta, which you see on the left side of the screen. You're also gonna see my choices for the second best marches for tanks, for planes, for navy. Please do take in consideration a lot of players out there are not even having a main march for navy, for planes and for tanks, and therefore you should ignore the tab on the right side. But for the sake of evaluating this tab properly, we have to put these informations on the screen. Granted, this tab will gonna give you different recommendations based on the heroes which you have on your account. So you know what, let's start with the tanks. The truth lies within the range. It's a great sentence, no question. I don't have a clue exactly what I should understand with that, but let's have a look at the main setup. Now the main issue, what you're gonna notice here guys in all these three tabs is the way it's designed is to stretch out these heroes in order to show you two marches, which is the first one here and the second right here, leaving none in fire and storm, for example. But this is not necessarily a good idea. Let's start with the tanks. So we see there Striker, Gypsy, and Mr. Snake Eyes. Granted, valid, it's most likely what I will gonna play. 99% I will exactly use this setup right here. Granted, it's also a great idea to see that tag right there, that Snake Eyes is a new hero, plus the evaluation on this channel. Yeah, it's a good idea. But now let's go into the substitute heroes. Now we see here a substitute hero, Duke level 5. I totally agree with this. But then we see Cromwell level 5. Guys, all you have to do is go on YouTube, just search Timmy and Cromwell, because you'll understand that Cromwell, performance-wise, is similar to Katyusha kindly. And why is that the case? Because heroes like Cromwell and heroes like Katyusha will gonna help you lose kind of less units when you are attacking a weaker player. And my question to you is simple. Do you honestly need a march to attack weaker players and then another march to attack players within your range or higher than you? No, you don't. So honestly, this is super misleading. I will never recommend these heroes. If you have, for sure, you can implement it in something. Fact is also, you see on the screen my second march for tanks, and you won't see it in there. And you also won't see me recommending Cromwell. So misleading, I'm just gonna take that Cromwell out. The alternative to Gypsy is Megatron and Pracy. Now hold on a second. Why is not Asuka up here? Because yes, like I told you, the system tries to stretch this in two marches, which is not necessarily the best idea. Because the vast majority of you guys out there don't even have 3 marches for navy, for planes, for tanks. So the system already tries to give you 2 marches for tanks, which are also, by the way, not necessarily a good idea. And you're gonna understand later on in the video why. So from this perspective, I would put Asuka instead of Pracy. Nothing against Pracy, but you are implying that today, December 2023, it's still worth to invest in Pracy, and this is wrong and misleading. Good. Let's go to the alternative to Mr. Snake Eyes, and we just see right here Polig. Now, granted, this information is correct because Snake Eyes is Polig 2.0, but then we see no alternative there, so I would rather want to see there Brunhild, for example. She assures she is an alternative, not the wisest decision. Also would like to see Asuka there. That would be kind of a bit better. So now we see here a stretched out march. Now we do indeed have to go into this in order to show you that the way this tab was designed is not just misleading sometimes. Sometimes it's absolutely that wrong. I would consider this a simple bug. When you see here Duke, Brunhild, and Asuka. Now you're putting a substitute hero. I'm not putting there. You could have put Shinji there. Yeah? But you're not putting Shinji. You're putting Striker level 7 as an alternative to Duke level 5. Guys, I don't think anybody should need by now an evaluation between Striker level 7 and a Duke level 5, because it's obvious that Striker with level 7 will be way stronger than Duke. And if you want to put it right, you're going to put Striker in there and Duke as an alternative. You cannot use Striker as an alternative. Use Shinji. This is wrong. Again, we talk about Cromwell. Please ignore this hero. Then we see Brunhild and Asuka together. Granted, this is the only way how Brunhild can work properly. You surely granted, I understand and value this unique design of the magnetic wave. Fact is not efficient. That's my honest belief and my honest recommendation. So yes, she will always gonna need Asuka. But the problem here in this match right here would be that Asuka is the only offense buffing hero and her offense buff is not that high. So yeah, I would rather use her up there. So this is the tanks. Let's go into the Air Force because we're gonna keep Navy at last. Not just because Navy is more complicated, but just because some of the recommendations in there are simple to be considered bugs. We are far past saying those suggestions are wrong. It must be a bug. So here's the Air Force. Now granted, there are a lot of alternatives to Air Force. I'm sure you have an Air Force meta video on this channel, which was made before Cranston came. And I must say, that video is still very valid. And let's start to evaluate what the system is trying to tell me right here. Duke, Cranston, and Barbie. Sure, granted, this will work. But first, let's work on the name. Effectiveness in simplicity. We have to correct this with all due respect, because there's no effectivity anywhere in there, just simplicity. So, yeah, granted, Duke will work on planes, there's no question about it. Cranston as offense buffing hero sure will work, and Barbie, yes. So in this configuration, yes, will work. Will not be the best one, yeah? We have definitely slightly better alternatives. But again, that's the issue with this tab right here. They are stretching out the heroes. Instead of focusing here to give you the absolute best choice, here on the screen, we have 3 bugs. These are not wrong suggestions. These are beyond that. These are bugs. So first of all, you're implying that Saker and Serval are heroes which are still worth investing in, which is absolutely bug level wrong. Yeah? And while at the same time, you see Mr. Maximum, which is still a great hero, being somewhere here downstairs. Another bug level wrong kind of information is to say again that Shinji level 7 is to be considered an alternative to Duke. No, with level 7, he is an alternative to Striker. Or he's an alternative to Duke, but with level 7. Never with the level 5 the River game. So, now let's jump to the offense buffing hero. Again, you see Selena. Guys, I strongly advise you to not invest in this hero. Granted, you have her right now in the hero return. But nobody is giving you this hero for free. You have to spend gems. And your gems will be far better invested in events like flipping cards, lucky numbers, deep sea hunting, in order to get universal hero charts. To get proper heroes, she is already way too old. And here we should have Bradley, but we don't have them because this is stretched out. Again, the third hero we talked about, Serval, is absolutely a bad idea. Not just to use this hero, it's bad idea to imply that Serval would be great at 5 stars and I should go right now and 5-star Serval. This is bad. Okay, let's go into this alternative march. And again, we see the same issue right here with Mr. Saker. This is not an alternative. Guys, please ignore this hero. Again, we see the same mistake when we have to choose between Shinji level 7 and Duke. Shinji must be up and Duke must be down. And we see this setup right here, which is granted more or less exactly what you see me using, though I'm using Shinji in there. And again, we see the same thing. I don't know why Cranston and Bradley are not considered to be an alternative to each other, because upstairs you don't see Bradley being an alternative to Cranston, and downstairs you don't see Cranston being an alternative to Bradley, so it's extremely confusing. And of course we see Maximo. You also see now on the screen my meta, how I play it. So now let's jump into the Navy, because this is going to be important, because a lot of you guys out there clearly love a challenge to start the game with the most complicated unit type, with a unit type which gives you the lesser amount of units in your base and with the most complicated heroes. And that as a fresh player. I don't know who loves that, but apparently a lot of players out there do love that. So let's evaluate here. We see Duke, Gypsy, and Crimson. Valid, absolutely correct. But the issue is, or let me put it differently, the bugs are when we look at the substitute heroes. These are not wrong information. Again, these are bug level information. So we see Lila. Granted, she is an alternative to Duke. Doesn't quite matter if Lila is up, Duke is down. Doesn't quite matter. I totally agree. But Enrius, please guys, ignore this hero. It makes no sense. First of all, to see Enrius on the same level with Lila, because she is not. Just one round of indestructible, by the way. And if you're putting, indeed, Enrius in there, where is Cispray? And I'm gonna show you how extremely bad this tab right here is. We go to Gypsy, sure, granted, the alternative is Stromoy, no question about it. You could have put Kotia also in there, that would work too. We see Kotia downstairs, we're gonna come to her. But of course, we wanna go to the third tab. And again, here, we see Mapeline. Now, I agree with this, why Mapeline is considered to be an alternative, because Crimson, yes indeed, is way better, but we have to address this bug right here. So the system recommends me Nyrite, while being aware this hero has 3 stars, no exclusive skill, and let's see what other heroes do I have in my list. I don't know if those would be a better idea. Have a look at this hero. Now, you can spin this in any possible way. There is no way on earth you can ignore the fact that this skill right there is either $1,800 or a ton of universal hero skill charts. So the system is not recommending me that hero. Let's go back. So I consider this a bug. Now let's go to the true strength stands firm, whatever that may mean. Again, we see Duke, Stromoy, and Mapeline. Sure, great idea, but I will still must mention here that Crimson is still better than Mapeline, so it should be the other way around. But the main issue is somewhere else. Again, you see the same thing. I don't know which player, or hopefully no developer needs me to do a video on Duke level 5 versus Shinji level 7. Guys, I hope you really don't need that. Nobody should need that. And of course, we see Kotiwa as an alternative to Stromoy, which is absolutely correct, also in that order. So, dear beautiful people, why is this video so important? Because this tab right here is absolutely great idea, but you see a lot of the information out there are absolutely wrong, and some of them are extremely wrong that I may even consider to report them as a bug. So in other words, dear beautiful people, just because you see the system recommending you something, please do not rely on this information. Take a second, ask a second opinion. We have on the TOPWAR Discord channel a lot of very smart players, and a lot of them can give you the same great and qualified answer just like I would give you. On top of this, you have the Discord of us, of Timmy. On top of this, you also have the comments in this video. And of course, also you can DM me privately on Discord and I will help you. So please, again, please pay attention and ask more questions before you take a decision. So as always, beautiful people, I hope yet again you understand why I have chosen this topic, because it's super important and can lead to massive dissatisfaction among players when taking a wrong decision. As always, beautiful people, if you're not a subscriber by now, I hope I gave you enough reason to check if you're a subscriber and do subscribe right now. As always, when it comes down to like or dislikes on my videos, guys, it's simply up to you which one you choose. And as always, yeah, don't forget to see me in the next episode.